Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Are you seeing all of this information coming out? They're just dumping information. Holy smokes. We're going to start here, then wait until that second article. I want to show you some things, okay? Now, this first article is titled BlackRock CEO. Tokenization to trigger finance's biggest. Haven't I been saying this the entire time I've been here? Biggest overhaul since the 70s. Of course, they put the little 70s part on there. It doesn't matter. This is the biggest overhaul of all time. But what does that really mean? Like, as far as what you and I are interested in, that bank money, that big money, like, you know, taking that money from large asset managers like BlackRock, which I only speak for myself, not financial advice. Looks like that's what we're going to do. What does that mean, overhaul? Okay, if there's an overhaul, don't worry, I'm going to read a little tidbit in a moment. Let me give you this thought. If there's an overhaul, then obviously that system must either blend into the new system, be overtaken by the new system. The superficiality of the old system has to be broken down and a new system placed on the base of that system, or just completely the old system is removed and the new system is brought in. Now, in terms of a financial system, what would that encompass? Obviously, it would encompass trillions of dollars. BlackRock, in their own way, are telling everyone that trillions of dollars are coming into tokenization, real world asset tokenization. Now, wait a minute. Who's at the forefront of real world asset tokenization? Wait a minute. Who was one of the first before BlackRock even spoke about RWA tokenization? Who was one of the first to speak on that? Ripple. What did David Schwartz say? I'm just putting out all the facts. Look up everything, question everything. What did David Schwartz say? He said, and maybe I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but once again, Google search this. Everything that touches the XRPL affects XRP. Ooh, yeah, I'm a little excited. You don't have to be. I'm just being myself. So if everything that touches the XRPL affects XRP, and there can't be two XRP prices between private ledger and public ledger, and yeah, I'm using a bunch of ands, and there's trillions of dollars coming into the system, not just XRPL, but also Hedera, also Cardano, also Solana, also Chainlink, also XLM, Stellar, on you know, this little small, it's not a lot of them, Bankcoin family, XDC, etc. If any of those trillions, I'm not saying all of it, any of that, little piece, big piece, whatever, make up your own mind about which piece comes. But if any of those trillions comes to chain, what does it do to that price? You tell me. Maybe you think differently. You're going to say, oh, maybe you agree. I don't know. I'm just simply asking questions, all right? What does it do to that price? That's what they're saying. They're telling everybody in every possible way, whether it's BlackRock or the central banks, they're not only telling people through the words that there's an explosion coming in price, period. There's no, listen, yes, people could debate it, debate everything. But the facts point you in one inexorable direction. That's it. From what I'm seeing, not financial advice, just my humble opinion. I got to say that again. There was something I'm going to say. Wait. So you have BlackRock telling the people, you have central banks telling the people, not only in their words, but they're showing you in their actions. Wait until we get to that second article. I really want to show you something, but let me read this little tidbit, okay? It says, by enabling instant settlement, fractional ownership. It's not just the instant settlement and fractional ownership. What they're not saying is everything. They're not telling people that stuff in the ground, commodities in the ground that haven't even been dug up yet can be tokenized, and that value can be on chain while the thing is still in the ground or sitting in a safe. Do you understand what that's going to do to prices of everything and the liquidity? Correct me if I'm wrong. Another thing. So, okay, so fractional ownership, tokenization of everything. Art pieces. Did you see that article? I think I posted it. And if I didn't, look it up. How they're drooling over the artwork. I told you that years ago, didn't I? Fine art. Those fine art pieces, they're going to sell so quickly. Boom, boom, boom. Those prices going to skyrocket. The second NFT boom is right at the door, right at the golden age doors creaking wide open, and you could peek in. You can see that NFT boom. They're going to move everything in sight. I don't believe it's going to last long. No, I don't. Not the big stuff, not the big explosions. We have like 2 big explosions, maybe 3 left. In my humble opinion, just my humble opinion. You don't have to agree with me. I'm not here to convince you. I don't think it's going to last long, because how could it? This person sells it for over here, then this person doubles that, and this person quadruples. How high can, I mean, at some point you're going to hit a certain level where everything has to begin to come down significantly, right? Or reach a level, a leveling of sorts, a homeostasis, right? And BlackRock is on it. BlackRock, Blackstone, Vanguard, Ripple, Hedera, they're on this. And it's going to be a scramble. People don't get it. It's not about retail anymore. Although retail is still involved, a lot much less than before, because everybody was selling everything. But that's what the article writers are saying. Not I. Article writers are saying that. But it's not about retail anymore. This is about to be a war between banks, large asset managers, and businesses. Tell me if you think differently. How? They're taking over. They're buying everything in sight. They're dominating. Which means those prices right now, even if they bring prices down more, it's a setup. Not for you or you. It's a setup for those small and medium-sized businesses, or just other businesses that are not as big as BlackRock, Vanguard, etc., ARK Invest. They want their money. They want to put them out of business. This is the nature of business. I don't know why people forget that. Business is vicious. There's no friends. You may work with someone from time to time, another company from time to time. There's no friends. They want what they have. They want to prove they're number one. They get off on that. They get a high on it. They're going to take, they believe they can take that value. This is going to move fast whenever it occurs. I don't have a timeline. Don't ask me about the timeline. That's not up to me. I'm just merely here to present information. You make up your own mind about timelines, all that good stuff. But okay, let's continue on. This is by enabling instant settlement, fractional ownership, and transparent digital records. Tokenization could modernize markets like Swift did in the 1970s. This is way bigger than that. That's why he said, the CEO said, this is the biggest overhaul. It's not like Swift. This is the biggest overhaul of all time. That's what people aren't getting. And here's another thing that they're not throwing in here. People are grossly, unbelievably underselling interbank payments. It's not just RWA. They're using it. And don't get me wrong, that RWA explosion in the future, I expect to be huge. I could be wrong. I don't think I'm wrong at all, but I like to be humble. So I'll say I could be wrong. There's always that possibility, right? I'm just trying to be balanced and respectful. That's all that is. But RWA, as beautiful as that's going to be, it's like a blinder. They're blinding everyone to the truth of the bank coins. Interbank payments. Can you tell me why no one is speaking about interbank payments? Can you tell me that? No mainstream media, no asset managers, no government. Why, huh? They don't want the people to know. That is the ultimate, ultra bullish catalyst of all time. They know it. This is not a game. Look it up. This is not a game. What do you think they're accumulating central banks for? Oh, we have all these central banks. Ripple. Their lawyer comes out one year, says, we believe a lot of banks. I'm paraphrasing and look it up. The quote is out there. He said, believe that banks in the U.S., many of them would utilize XRP and XRP. I believe them as well. We're hearing about a lot of banks getting racked up. So what we're hearing is just a matter of time before announcements. We'll see. We'll see what's true. But Ripple even hinted at that. They don't have to say commercial. If you have Brad Garlinghouse coming out at some point earlier this year. And then he says something which is interesting because it got buried. And he says something akin to, we have all these central banks signed up, even central banks we didn't name. That always sticks in my mind. Folks, he doesn't then have to say we also have a ton of commercial banks. If they have the central banks, then they 100% have a bunch of commercial banks they didn't even name. Why? One, they just do good business. Two, the central banks have massive influence and they operate on the strength of networks. So if you get that central bank, it's bringing you a few banks along, a good amount. That's literally the nature of the central banks. Right? Am I right? Somebody out there is like, you're wrong, Mick. You're wrong, Mick. I tune in every day. Yeah, I don't click the like button. I tune in every day. You are never right, Mick. Yeah, I love you too. Keep tuning in every day. Keep tuning in to disagree with me. I love all of you. I'm not even joking. I get that. It's like fighting. It's, I met people like that in various gyms over my life. They just want to fight. They just want to wrestle. They just want to box. That's it. That's what they do. I've never seen. I remember this one guy. Let me get this story up. Hold on. Then we're going to get to that next article. I remember there's one guy. At this time, I was going to a Taekwondo gym. And this gym was heavy into sparring and going to tournaments, right? But, we still do the forms and we're doing the forms and stuff like that to get belts and, good exercise. I never saw this guy do any forms. This literally, he just would always spar everybody. Me, the black belts, everybody. He's sparring everybody. And I noted, why I noticed that? Because I sparred a lot. I wanted to make sure I had that experience. And I'm like, whoa, even though every time I come in, I get in a good spar with like 2 or 3 very good people. This guy was sparring more than me. That's all he did. So I get that. Some people have that mentality. This is the point, that mentality. They just want to tussle. It doesn't matter if it's physical. It doesn't matter if it's verbal. And it's not a personal thing. They're just, I don't know. I guess they have this warrior in their spirit. And it manifests sometimes physically. It can manifest mentally. They just want to tussle. I get that. So that's why I don't take it too personal if people vehemently disagree. And they may have some good points as well. People that disagree sometimes have some good points. All right, now let's move on. Now that we got that out of the way. So this is what they're saying here. I mean, what else could they be alluding to? Look beyond the superficial. The surface of the lake is beautiful, pretty. I get that. No problem. I like to watch the sun glimmer off the surface of that lake. But the substance is under the lake. The fish can provide food for families, for generations of fish. The underwater sea plant life may have some medicinal uses, right? The rocks underneath, they've been smoothed out. They're pretty, could be used for decoration, could be used for other stuff. The point is, you have to look below the surface most times for that which is substantial. Is that a word? That sounds good. For that which is substantial. Look below the surface of what he's saying. This isn't about instant settlement, fractional ownership, or transparent digital records. We've heard that already. So why is he so excited? They've been doing a lot of interviews, all of these big timers. What are they so excited about? Could it be the fact that they've shown professional companies like Sentiment, they're buying up everything in sight, nibbling. While they manipulate the market, they're nibbling and buying more by proxy and sometimes directly. So if you're buying more and you're positioning yourself, especially in altcoins, by the way, you're expecting some kind of massive return, massive explosion, a lot of value. Could it be that? You're more in position, so you're excited because you're going to profit off of this system. You have reserves. You have the system set up where, could it be that? You tell me. They're very excited. They don't come out and speak unless they're excited. Let's go scroll down. Let me see if there's any more I want to give to you from this. Tokenization offers efficiency. Tokenization, which records ownership of assets. Digital ledgers allow stocks, bonds, real estate, and other holdings to exist. Right. See how they're listing everything? They're laying it out for the people. People will look right over this. Stocks. How much value is that? coming onto chain, any of these chains. It's going to touch everything. It's good. People don't understand at lightning speed. If there's a continuity, the speed doesn't matter. If it's a second or an hour, it doesn't make a difference. It just keeps hitting. What's the difference between something that hits for an hour straight, boom, 1 hour, and something consistently hitting every attosecond, boom, 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 boom for an hour? It's the same thing. So it's going to affect everything. It will touch everything and it will hit hard. All of this flow. Okay, so how much value is there in stock coming to this new financial system? How much is in bonds? How much is in real estate? Can you tell me that? And once you tell me that and you start to do the numbers, you understand why they're excited. They're positioned to profit wildly, just like anybody else who's into bank coins. It's the same thing. So as excited as they are, it tells you how excited people should be, even though they're not going to be, because people become numb very quickly. They've had these things for so long that we take things for granted. It's like being around a great person, or having a car. You first get that car and it's a hot rod and it's fast and you're going 120 miles per hour. I'm not saying do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't go 115, 120 miles per hour. Don't do that. Although we'll leave it at that. You get this new car, but at first, it's like, yay, I got a new car. This is a great car. I'm going to drive cool. Look at me. I have the top down, guys. And then after 2 months, a year, 2 years, it's just a car. You just take it for granted. It's just a car. Somebody else will see that car. If you just left that car and just let anybody take it, they'd be like, yay, it's a great car. But to you, it's just a car. It just that newness wears off. So that's how it is with a lot of these bank coins. People had it so long that newness has worn off. And it's just like, some bank coins. Don't take it for granted. You can do what you want to do. It's not advice. I'm just saying. That's how a lot of people are. But it's not like that for these BlackRock people. They have the top researchers in their ear. They're well paid. They have the top analysts in their ear. And that's why they're excited and it would be for no other reason. These people aren't wasting their time doing research. Larry Fink? Come on, stop. He gets a briefing every once in a while. So someone whose job it is to inform him is letting him know this is potent. Let's go into the second article here. My apologies, folks. I like going and giving my thoughts a little deeply on these articles here. Here we go. Listen to this. I told you I got something for you. Folks, they are getting into position, in my humble opinion. It's my humble opinion, but also you can look at the facts. This article from Glenbrook Partners, right? Glenbrook.com is titled CBDC Rollout Slows as Countries Hit Pause. They reevaluate risks. Really? Are you sure about that? You sure about that? They're reevaluating the risks. That's interesting. It couldn't possibly be this. Wait a minute. Let's go here. As soon as they say that, I'm researching this consistently. Nothing has gone awry. There is no catalyst presented by them that actually would make them pause anything whatsoever, especially when we have a lot of the central banks saying how they're steaming forward with the implementation of such. So then what could this pause be for? It wouldn't be because that this year they've begun accumulating massive amounts of crypto. And now they see that retail has been chased off and prices could be brought down a little bit, that they could acquire more. And as they're acquiring more in their reserves and digital asset stockpiles, these central banks stand to profit wildly. Central banks, countries stand to profit wildly. So instead of popping the system off now, beginning it now, rushing forward, they said, whoa, wait a minute. Before we really set this off, because when we do set it off, everyone's going to be bullish. These prices are going to skyrocket. And then people are going to be hodling because, retail can't keep anything to itself. So they told the whole world, including their enemies, their plans and what they like to do. They like to hodl. So now the enemy knows, they like to hold, huh? All right. So when they're bullish, they hold. But when they're not bullish, they don't hold. So while they're not bullish in a time like this, right? Prices came down a little bit. Retail selling heavily, This is what the article writers say, right? At a time where they're not bullish, that would be the perfect time for central banks to acquire crypto. So they would pause their activity because they don't need to upset that right now. No, they don't need to make the people bullish and start hodling again, start accumulating again, make the prices go up again. No. Hold on. It's not just the central banks. Their partners, their friends, whoever they're connected to, they'll pause the bullishness because they benefit from all of them. All of them. Oh, yeah, they spread that money around for sure. They have the connections for what? Huh? They have, say it with me. You're going to feel good about it. I know you are. They have the connections for the collection. All right. You keep that phrase in your mind. It'll tell you a lot. It'll remind you a lot every single time you think about these things. And it gives you sort of an idea of how to extrapolate from this one idea into many. It's like, ooh, wait, what are the connections? Who wants to collect? You start asking these questions that lead you down the pathways to very interesting answers. But wait a minute. Wait a minute. Has there been, factually speaking, has there been an uptick in countries accumulating crypto this year? Oh, it says this from coinedition.com. 2025 has seen a clear uptick in countries acquiring cryptocurrency reserves and building up digital asset stockpiles. You don't say Coin Edition. And many other article writers, right? So they've been collecting crypto. Now, a lot of people would say, Mick, that's probably just Bitcoin to collect them. Are you sure about that? You sure about that? Wait. See, I know. I think about these things. No, it's not just Bitcoin, but you should know that from the United States coming out and say, and letting the world know, they primed the world. They set them up. We're going to do a digital asset stockpile with XRP, Solana. Really? Why'd you have to come out and tell everybody that? Why don't you just do it? Just do it. No, because they want them to get in. They want to let them know which ones to acquire. Oh, these are the ones that are hot. You follow us. You follow the U.S. and a lot of countries do. You agree with it or not, they do. And so the U.S. is letting them know, hey, you want to get a little bit of this XRP, hey, over there. You want to get a little bit of this Solana. Perhaps, maybe not. But you would be unwise to be parsimonious in these moments. Yes. Wait a minute. So, okay. So, Mick, are they acquiring anything else? Have they mentioned that they're interested? According to decrypt.com, yes, countries have shown in their market reports, they collect all this data on which countries want what and what they're thinking about, and central banks, what are they thinking about getting into. XRP is at the top of the list. XRP, BNB, Sol, ADA, LTC, some of the usual suspects. Link. Right. They're accumulating cryptos or getting into position or positioning their partners, friends, etc. That's why I believe if there is any pause, and I don't believe that whatsoever, if there is any pause, it's only for them to accumulate more. They're already in a position to dominate through infrastructure. Now they want to dominate through reserves and capitalizing like how retail should have. They're doing it. They don't play around, I'm telling you. Governments and central banks, it says here, this is from Observer.com. Governments and central banks are exploring tokenized assets alongside crypto reserves, blurring the line between altcoins and traditional finance. They're going to go heavy into both. The question is only, which altcoins is it going to be? Like I said, I believe they already showed you. The U.S. said XRP, Solana, etc. Look at their digital asset stockpile list right there. OK, then not only that list, then go over to the World Economic Forum. You wouldn't believe how much influence they have, whether you like them or not. They have influence. Then look at their list. What else is on their list? XRP, Stellar, Algorand, Solana, XDC, I believe, is also on their website. Look it up for yourself. A little Google search. I'm telling you, don't just take my word for it. I'm not here to make you take my word or hope you take my word. Respect is good. but I like it better if you know for yourself. Facts. Right? Better to know for yourself. I love the respect, though. I appreciate that. Yeah, but I'm telling you, look into it. And that's just two. Wait a minute. So that's the U.S. That's the World Economic Forum. Who has the Bank of International or for International Settlements work with, huh? XRP, R3, just from what I remember. Quant. Look it up. You're going to see a lot of overlap across the globe. And it tells you who's going to be the winner. And you know what's wild? On every single one of those lists or in every single one of those scenarios, XRP is at the top. Every single time. They did a good job over there, I'm telling you. But that's just my humble opinion. All right, so now let's go to a little bit of Bitcoin news. Find out what's going on with Bitcoin today. And if I don't get the members only video out today, just bear with me. I may have it out tomorrow. I have a good one for you. I'm telling you right now. Right now I'm looking at, and this is not even my tabs I have on the other. I have like two, web browsers that I use. My other one, I have a lot of tabs on there. I'm just accumulating information for this next video. But as I'm looking right now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 very potent articles. It's just, I'm a little bit tired today. I did a lot of research today. If I don't get it out today, bear with me and I'll do my best to get this next one out tomorrow, okay? But you will have your post tonight. I'll make sure they're potent as well. All right, now let's get to a little bit of this Bitcoin news. Here we go. Let's see what they're telling us today. Of course, BlackRock is involved. Why is it? It's like they love the shine, the fame or something. I don't know what it is. They're coming out doing articles. They want to, I don't know what that is. It's like so strange to me. Now I've been doing this for a while now, and typically BlackRock is really tight-lipped. It's like they're conditioning the minds of the people to get used to hearing their name, because the people, maybe that's what it is. The people don't like BlackRock at all. And a lot of people think that they're involved in many nefarious things. So I get it. So I think they're trying to get people used to them hearing that name, BlackRock, and maybe you get a little comfortable with it, you know? And as you get comfortable with it, it makes it easier for them to pump these cryptos later. Right? I mean, why are they doing so many interviews? All right, let me get to the article. Ask these questions. There's a reason. This is not random. This article is titled BlackRock Transfers 1,633 Bitcoin to Coinbase Prime. Little air in my chest. My apologies. I beg your finest pardon. IBIT closed Monday with about $66 million in net withdrawals, while rival Bitcoin ETFs from Fidelity and ARK registered positive flows. From what I've read in the articles, a few things were doing well today, but maybe I'm wrong. Let's find out what Bitcoin is doing right now. Hold on before we continue with the article. Current. I'm on google.com again. Yes, current Bitcoin price. All right. Yeah, it's looking good today. Bitcoin is looking good. It's green. It's up 6.37% today at $91,804.45. You bear with me one moment. I just want to see what XRP is doing today. Not that it matters, because I'm long term, baby. I'll tell you right now. So XRP is green today, $2.17. It's up 6.94% today. This is what it's saying here. Make sure you check for yourself. That's what it's saying, okay? All right, so I thought I wanted to look up something else, but I can't remember. Bitcoin XRP is enough. Let's go back to the article. All right. So BlackRock, a major asset management firm, transferred 1,633 Bitcoin worth approximately $142.6 million to Coinbase Prime today. Coinbase Prime serves as an institutional trading platform providing custody and execution services for large-scale crypto transactions. We know all of that. Why did you have to tell us that? Is this like filler? Crypto briefing. Don't do filler. Just trust me. You're going to get views. You just get right to the point. I've learned over time. Trust me. I've adjusted. I've learned. I've grown. You know, you have to have this self-examination. People are going to come if you just have a potent article. I promise you. You don't need filler. That's what I'm saying. The transfer represents routine ETF liquidity management. That's what I thought. I thought, like, no big deal. BlackRock oversees investment products, including spot Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, actively manages crypto holdings for institutional clients. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF closed Monday with approximately $66 million in net withdrawals, while competing funds from Fidelity and ARK Invest posted gains. Why did you repeat that from the top? And if it's routine, it's no big deal. You know, look, once again, there's so many positive catalysts going on right now for Bitcoin. It's unbelievable. Bitcoin remains super bullish. You see the resilience in it, right? Went down, went up. It's consolidating a little bit. Looks like, from what we're hearing, a lot of institutions are showing interest. They've been nibbling at Bitcoin, which that appetite is going to grow. It's just a matter of time before it skyrockets again. It'll be rinse and repeat. It's just, we need to just remember that and expect these cycles of a rise and maybe a sustained rise for some time, like what we just saw. And then it'll come down for a little bit, a little breather. And that's what these institutions want. But at some point, because of all this activity, if it continues to accelerate the way that they're claiming, central banks getting involved, more large asset managers getting involved, more businesses getting involved, which most of them are not, that price is going to skyrocket. There's no way, in my humble opinion, Bitcoin stays below $200,000. It just doesn't. And that's saying a lot, because remember, my original number is $150,000 Bitcoin. But at this point, that could be easy. That could be easy. There's no way. And this is why it's good to adjust. And I'm not just talking about crypto, but I mean mentally adjust. Because times change, things change. So that means as things change, then our mentality must also change. I'm going down the street as an example, right? And right as of now, I want to continue to drive this car straight. It's on a straight street. We go straight. But then suddenly the road begins to curve. Well, now my mentality must change. I better start curving. I can't go straight. If I do, I'm going straight through someone's house, right? So it's just an example of this. That's how life is. Apply that. I have to apply that to everything. That sounds simple, but most people don't think that way. When it comes to crypto, it's like either it's going all the way up or it's going all the way down. People behave that way. I've seen it. They've spoken to me like this. Even if they don't believe it, then why speak as such? So I think that's an important thing to keep in mind. So we adjust as we go along, but we keep the greater picture in mind. For example, once again, back on that road that's curving now, it doesn't change the goal of reaching, let's say, my mother's house. Right? I still want to go to my mother's house, but on this road, I may have to go straight. I may have to curve. I need to be adjusting throughout. And with Bitcoin or XRP or any of these things, sure, the road may curve. It may go backward a little bit at some point, the trek. But inexorably, we want to end up where we set out to be. And we will if we but adjust. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.